He hails from and is representing the United States of America. Please raise it up for Wallace! Ladies and gentlemen, this is Hails Hall, and is proudly representing his home nation of South Africa. Please raise it up from the roof of Riekerd! South Africa is this devastating player. What a superstar the young man is making a name for himself, and he'll pick up what a beautiful stage here in Chicago. Okay, I'll take care of it. All right, thank you. Oh, and no commentator sound is coming through. Here in the U.S., Dilley has a similar level of migration. Okay. We find out what we are. Maybe it's not the right. Is it loud enough? Looks right. They're saying they can't hear the commentators on the pay-per-view, and that's on that side. You want to tell okay. So they know. Here we are. Two top super heavyweights here making their debut on the East West stage. And Neil Pickard, there is no biggest thing in the world for us is what is happening right now. Right now, in the Chicago area, the South African looking super dominant and sharp as the first round.
Man, Colton Engelbrecht, breaking all kinds of records in powerlifting and in the game of iron arms. This young man, Riekerd Bornman, is looking at setting his own legacy alight here, and he's started so well. A brilliant opener, managed to find his position, found his shape early, jumped in with that shoulder and a closed shoulder roll straight to the pad. Now, interesting thing now, Travis, is the first one you can call surprise. The second one, you know what's coming.
No doubt we will definitely see a more understanding posture here from Wallace Dilley here. He saw the aggression, the young fella coming forward, all arm, a nice little press at the end, but didn't really need it. Somewhere in the middle of that hook and press, Bornman looks like he's coming forward. There's a much more attack on the hand and wrist of Dilley, but Wallace Dilley very strong there in that second start. This could be what we've been looking for here to really get this event and the crowd on their feet. Can Wallace Dilley stop this match? And let's make some noise in this joint for this fella.
It'd be nice if we can get the match contested with no fouls. We had a coincidental foul there. Both guys with a little pop on that elbow, nothing significant. And what was interesting, as you say, a big change of style there from Riekerd Bornman. He looked to top roll and Dilley was equal to it, got a very powerful hand and wrist. It was a little ominous though, that he seemed to be hanging on and letting the South African initiate. Wallace needs to just attack. Forget about holding the guy, hit the dude. Here we go. Much better from Wallace, and definitely had hand control there, and it's an elbow foul for Riekerd Bornman, but very positive signs there for Wallace Dilley. He definitely had the better hand position there, despite the elbow. So one foul.
A bit surprised at the attack of the young man. He looked so much more dominant inside in round one, and now both of these gentlemen super content with the highest rising they can get in a lot of outside movement.
Riekerd Bornman, South African born, Australian based. Huge amount of hype around this young man. That's the man in the white shirt. He's leading by one pin, currently holding one foul here in this match. Pivotal opening round for him, but Dilley better on the hand again. And Wallace Dilley there starting to feel that he may have an opportunity in this match, and he starts to talk to Riekerd Bornman. We don't have the athletes' mics, we can't hear.
But they are chirping. They are chirping up there, both. Both of these gentlemen understand the significance of the moment, how important it is for the wins to rack up if you want to get that call that every arm wrestler's dreaming of. Can you get a match on the main card here on an East versus West arm wrestling event?
So two starts for Wallace Dilley, in which he looked like he had a far better hand position. Nothing to show for it at this stage, and Riekerd Bornman doesn't look rattled. He looks pretty calm, pretty cool, pretty collected. But the strap can change everything. And if Wallace Dilley can get his head together, he may have an opportunity in that top roll. He certainly looked like he had a very, very powerful hand and wrist. But there's always that fine line to walk. You do not want to be hanging on to your opponent. Look to set the position, initiate from there, but do not hold on.
You guys are still in the referee's grab.
Yes, sir.
You're closing me again, because you're closing 2 times in a row.
Okay, we just
You close
got
his hand first 2 times in a row, so you can close mine.
That's right.
the athlete mics.
It wasn't a foul. Open.
Can you pull the straps the rest away, please?
You want it tighter?
No.
What do you want?
Yeah, just make it loose and just put, yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Bornman asking for the strap
I need back
to be
back there.
applied slightly differently. It's key to make sure that you can move fluidly in that position. Do not blink, ladies and gentlemen. Watch for the start here.
You need to close me first.
All right. Don't move this right here. Don't move. Go!
And away we go! Oh, big foul.
Son of a bitch.
Dilley with the elbow foul. 1-1 is a foul
There.
count.
I'm just going to tighten the strap.
That
Get
one
that thing off. We need to
stopped
redo
dead.
it.
What's that?
Don't we need to get it redone?
No.
Both men wound inside there.
He's killing my hand. He's killing my hand. All right, let's go, guys.
Grab the peg.
Yep. Okay,
Wallace,
just
you have
take
one
this.
follow.
Just take this.
Grab the peg. Shoulder. Don't pull this back.
Wallace
No
Dilley
moving, gentlemen.
looked great in those two starts. We found ourselves back inside. Down
Go!
come the hands, underway we go! Massive drive, Wallace! Dilley with the win. Wallace Dilley with the win. The United States of America is on the board here. 1-1, and it's beginning to light up, Trav.
Let's go. Nebraska, USA is in the house. Wallace Dilley, let's freaking go.
Every time you back away during the strap, he cements it further, control it more back. So if you're going to spend back, you're going to do it. He's not trying to come forward. He's trying to actually he tried to don't back off. He didn't come in for a crack. He walks all over. He's getting more and more angle. The only reason you lost your hand separate. Got it.
I think I injured my elbow.
In round one? It's all about position.
Yes, sir.
Very interesting shape there, Trav, because
Push that out. So you
if you watched that first start, you would have sworn that Riekerd Bornman had a lot more on the inside. On that occasion, the back pressure was key for Dilley, but let's be honest, when it hit the deep, close, driven forward position in that first start and they went into the hook, Dilley was equal to it, and I think that's done his confidence a world of good. This is about being fastest finger on the trigger.
Yeah, also too, the wear and tear of each round, Neil, from the naked eye, it looks like business as usual. What we're not aware of is what kind of tweaking in the shoulder, in the elbow, in the wrist. I just caught a brief exchange from Ryan Bowen here in the corner, and if I'm not, maybe I have the best hearing in the world, but I think I may have heard there could have been a slight little elbow stretching there going on in round one for the South African. If that is the case, it's going to be a long super match here. Wallace looking in control of round two. In all three of those starts, we'd seen no attempt of coming forward, hooking as we did in round one. If there's an elbow problem, then we will see it here in round three. Will it continue to be the outside movement and the absolute shutting down from Wallace Dilley?
And Wallace Dilley is a big man. This fella is like a black bear. He's massive, really put together.
This one's back or this one's forward.
And you can see that when he connected, he had a lot of horsepower there, was very, very capable indeed. And could we see
Get that shoulder back. Why is
this match swing back in favor
We're on yours.
of the man from the United States?
go
Nebraska's
that
own
way.
Wallace Dilley. It's the man in the blue shirt.
Towards that guy. Why are we
Stop the
starting
match.
over here? It doesn't feel centered.
Are you ready?
Go!
We are underway in a massive drive. And coincidental foul again, I believe. We don't have a great shot of the elbows there, but immediately Bill Collins reacted, and pretty sure it was a coincidental foul on the elbows. Both men called back in. And interestingly, Trav, Wallace didn't like the center there. He felt like he was over towards Riekerd, and I think you've called it right, because immediately they separated. Young Mr. Bornman was grabbing his elbow. A lot of weight going into those hits.
Yeah, no doubt. This is going to be a tough out from here on out. You can see the grimace on the face, turning to both of us over here at the screen. And once again, my cat laser eyes here did a little lip reading, and it does seem that elbow's a little tender here. maybe a good opportunity to get outside and stay outside from the young man.
Again, Dilley equal to the hand and wrist, and right now, this is the Wallace Dilley show. He looked solid in center.
Yeah, great posture, no doubt, standing up tall, no wasted movements, coming forward. He feels he's the stronger man. A little bit of a bullying tactic here from round 3 and on.
Riekerd Bornman showing his bravery, changing it up on the prior start with the coincidental elbow foul. There was a massive drive. He punched that shoulder forward, really lent into the match. Not on that occasion. The last start, we saw him run. He looked to go high, wild outside, lost his hand position, and Dilley did not move. His hand and wrist were super robust, and the man from the United States of America, his confidence must be growing with every single start here. Needs to keep diligent. Riekerd Bornman, great that he's brave, great that he's trying different things, but he needs to move the arm of Dilley. At the moment, he's failing to do that. He's running himself out of the match.
Okay, square that shoulder up.
Like this? Bring the shoulder.
No moving from there.
Let's see what technical prowess here the young man has. Does he have the ability to manipulate the setup and get outside in the straps? Wallace super confident. The Nebraska Cornhusker is definitely risen to the occasion here in Chicago, Illinois. What a beautiful setting for East versus West 18.
Don't move from there.
Riekerd Bornman, former high-level rugby player in South Africa, suffered a serious ankle injury and was forced out of that sport.
It's biting me again.
But the athleticism is very evident.
Watch for the hit of Bornman. He's outside, but the tag. Look at Wallace Dilley. Having some trouble keeping that elbow on, but still, from the looks of it, Neil looks really, really confident. The second foul will tie this. It will tie it up or 2-1?
2-1 Bornman. Riekerd Bornman leading 2-1, and I don't think that's the way he would have wanted to win. This guy definitely didn't come here to win on fouls. He came here to get arm on arm. This is a great guy. If you meet Riekerd Bornman anywhere around the place, lovely fella, very articulate young man, brave, very competitive, and wants to prove himself. What was better there, without any question, he top rolled from a deeper hand position. He wasn't looking to run out and spin his hand. Didn't look for that at all. He stayed quite low. You could see the benefit. It gave him a lot more. There was a great deal more back pressure connected, and he popped Dilley in the air. No intention there from Wallace. It's just that as he's trying to match that back pressure, the weight comes off the elbow, and Riekerd was that little bit faster, and that initiation creates the elbow lift, and unfortunately for Wallace Dilley, that's led to the loss of that round, but some real positive signs for him.
No doubt, and you could see his lower body was not committed like earlier. As soon as that lower body drops under the table, the hand and head doesn't come with it, you always can run into some problems there. That was much tighter.
One elbow foul on you, not two. So you guys are coming back up and redoing that match.
Okay, I've just been approached by Luke Pulsher, and I believe he's going to call the athletes back to the table. Having reviewed footage, he feels like he made a mistake. And the match
So the match will
live.
resume at 1-1
Correct.
with one foul on Mr. Wallace Dilley here. We are now still 1-1, ladies and gentlemen, here.
And as far as I'm concerned, that's a great outcome, because we all want to see this thing end on arm wrestling, not on fouls, and here we go.
My mistake, gentlemen. Sorry about that.
Luke Pulsher just telling the guys there he made an error.
Ref's grip, strap.
Ref's grip, strap, one foul.
Okay.
And we are back in the strap.
My apologies, gentlemen.
Wallace Dilley on one foul. The first one a coincidental foul. Will we see more of the same from Riekerd Bornman? He really adopted a different position on that top roll, and if he's going to win this match, he's probably very aware now that he needs to move the arm of Wallace Dilley. The hand of the American looks to be superior. And if you meet Wallace, that's not a surprise. The guy's got unbelievably thick, powerful paws. He really is
No. Grab the peg.
some matured hand strength there, I can tell you.
Shoulders in. Both you guys, your shoulders.
Whoa. center.
I got it. Bring that shoulder in, big guy.
Keep that wrist straight.
Down come the thumbs. The hands will be closed next, and then be ready.
Going under or over?
Under.
Wallace asking
Don't
to
move,
come
gentlemen,
underneath
don't
on the
move.
grip. Down comes Bornman.
Go!
And away we go. Big hammering top roll from Riekerd, Bornman, and Dilley hanging on to it, trying to drive to the side, but Bornman with control. Riekerd! Bornman with the win. Bornman with the top roll attack, and Bornman with the win. And much better, he moved the arm. He did not run back, he went back and across, and that exposed the hand and wrist. And I said earlier, Wallace does not want to hang on to this guy, wants to counter him and utilize the strap, and he didn't manage to do it on that occasion. Little slower off the start, Travis.
Absolutely stunning from the young man. The posture, the patience to make sure that his upper body did not leave his hand out to dry, stayed focused in there. That was about 4 seconds there where he was right there, 11 o'clock, just waiting, and then you've seen the hand and wrist buckled. If Riekerd is able to get out of this match with a win, with that potential elbow disturbance there in round one, this will be a tremendous mark on the resume of the young South African. And it will not be long before we'll see him back here on this stage. But in the meantime, whatever Pablo can do to get Wallace Dilley to get arm to arm, make sure that that thing stops at 12 o'clock, makes the connection a little more suited to hand combat, and try to keep that wrist from cracking backwards here. We could still, this match could be long from over.
There's a very fine line, as I said earlier, between not engaging fully with a stronger man, but making sure that you utilize the speed as a weapon and move the man's arm, hit for position. You don't necessarily have to hit for the win. Hit for superior position, something you mastered throughout your career, Travis.
100%, Neil Pickup. There are trials and tribulations that are going to take place over these 5 rounds. The injury bug is always the biggest concern when it comes to inside pulling. That's why, listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you're in the crowd and your number one go-to move is a hook, make sure you spend a little time, maybe the last 15 minutes at practice, keep working on that outside move, trying your best to make sure that if you have any trouble, that you have an out. And it looks like Bornman is taking advantage of. Told me he was going to run over this guy straight sideways, which he did in round one. As it proceeds now, he's going to have to go into the bag of tricks, and we saw it there in round 3. An excellent full hand top roll in the straps.
One warning. You cranked in on me.
No, you moved.
Let's go.
Bill Collins giving the foul to Riekerd, Bornman. Just explaining that it was Riekerd that initiated that movement, and he takes the foul, or warning, excuse me. And
It feels like he's on my side of the thing.
You can always tell when an arm wrestler is lying at the table, the first thing he will say is, "I promise you."
you can also tell because his lips are moving.
He's moving
That's
again.
your second warning. That's one foul.
Now, Riekerd needs to calm down a little bit. He's been arm wrestling really diligently up to this point, but don't make any mistake about it. You can lose track of that pretty quick if you feel something that you don't like. It can throw you off your game.
Who, you?
No, our hands. Like this.
He's got his wrist. I got yours.
Okay? You see, thank you. Thanks.
Riekerd needs to realize that he does have the speed and initiation advantage. I think the power advantage is firmly in the corner of the American. That's the man in the blue shirt, Wallace Dilley, trailing by 2 pins to 1.
Go!
Better from Wallace. That's a lot better from Wallace. And now he has hand control. Didn't manage to do anything with it.
Foul before the slip. Sorry.
Wallace received the foul, being told that by Luke Pulcher.
That's fine. That's fine. Let's go.
Same situation with Wallace. Needs to make sure he doesn't let frustration govern his thoughts here. Calm it all down. Slow it all down. We're going into the strap.
into the strap, both with one foul here. Riekerd picking up the foul on the 2 warnings in the setup, and then the elbow coming off the front from Wallace Dilley here. 1 foul apiece, both electing to go right into the straps. And Neil, let's be completely honest, nothing would be worse than losing one of these rounds before the strap got applied. So both of these guys, very intelligent here. Wallace knowing that he's a little bit stronger, but that elbow coming off the front seems to be a small problem here when trying to control the hand and wrist out of the strap. Now we'll be all strapped up. It is on. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise in this joint. An outstanding first match.
No moving, gentlemen.
Are you ready? Down
No
come
moving.
the
Check your
hands.
wrist.
Bornman knows he needs to be away quickly here.
Go!
Tries to accelerate, but he runs more backwards, and that is not necessarily going to pay dividends, but he's happy there. And Dilley, elbow off the front of the pad. It will end on a foul.
First foul. Second elbow.
It's his second elbow foul, and it is the win for Riekerd Bornman. To be fair, on that occasion, Bornman
That's it, I think.
was in control on the hand and wrist and deserved to get that one.
job, man.
He
We'll
takes
meet
it 3 pins to 1. Riekerd Bornman.
Well done with your elbow.
Yeah, we'll meet again.
Great match, Wallace Dilley. Great match. Let's go over to Ryan Bowen he'll be with the loser and on the main stage. Ladies and gentlemen, Neil Pickup is with
They need to make this thing big, just this. Can't see them. I'm like this.
Ladies and gentlemen, as my dad shouts something from the crowd there, embarrasses me a little bit, but I'll let him off. He's got yellow boots on. I am here with South Africa's finest. What a debut. What a nerve jangler. You were competing here in the United States, and you went through the emotions. We could hear it, we could see it in the crowd. How are you feeling right about now, Riekerd Bornman?
Oh, this is incredible, man. This is the real deal. I've never thought that I would be on this stage and just performing in front of all you guys is incredible. Thank you so much, Chicago. Thank you so much.
Now, we know that the plan was to jump inside, hammer sideways, and pin the guy. It looked to us in our commentary position like on that first start, something didn't go to script.
The first start, I felt pretty good. I think something in my elbow went. A lot of inflammation inside there. I couldn't contest for the center anymore. So only option left, I have to go back. But yes, that guy is really, really strong. I did underestimate him, but what a match. Well done, Wallace.
Now, it looked like you were going through some adjustments, Riekerd. We saw you run straight backwards, but it was busting your hand open. His hand is crazy strong. That adjustment paid off. We saw you start to move his arm a little bit more, and from there, it paid dividends.
Yeah, I could feel trying to slip that it was going to happen. He didn't have full control, even though I had to drop, but I had to get out to get the strap. That was my main focus. But yes, Neil, that guy is really, really strong. Strong elbow, his hand is phenomenal. I thought it's going to be the hand and that's it. But the elbow on that man I learned something that I can still improve to go sideways.
Now, yourself and Ryan had a hell of a weekend. He's cleaned up in the tournament earlier today. I think you're going to be flying home with massive smiles on your face. Your debut couldn't have gone much better. But if you look at the landscape now in the super heavyweight division, a young man like yourself with still a lot of room to grow, where do you want to be? Do you look at the 115? Do you look at staying in the super? And if so, are there any names that you'd particularly like to face?
You know, Neil, I've had a discussion with you and Dev, and I wondered if I should go down to the 115 to be competitive there. I mean, the level of super heavyweight arm wrestling is incredible. The level is super high. But I guess I'm going to stay in the super heavyweight to get as big as I possibly can. And the next guy on the list, and I think he probably knows this, I just hope he has the guts to accept this. But I'm Schoolboy. I'm waiting, buddy.
I'm sure Schoolboy will see that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to give a massive round of applause for this rising star representing South Africa, Riekerd Bornman.
Thank you guys so much. I just want to send a quick message back to South Africa. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for your support, Mum, Dad, brother. I'll see you guys soon.